Hey, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any updates. I've got an important message today that I feel will really speak to some of you. Just take what feels right for you and leave the rest behind. Remember, this is a general message meant for the collective, so it might not apply to everyone. It's not a personal reading, but there's definitely something here for someone who's been dealing with some tough decisions and emotions lately. I'm getting a strong sense that someone here is struggling with attachment issues. Maybe you're holding on to something or someone that you know deep down you should let go of. This kind of attachment can be really harmful, even if you don't notice it at first. When we cling to things that no longer serve us, we end up hurting ourselves in ways that can affect our mental, emotional, and even physical health. This attachment I'm talking about could be related to anything: your mindset, your beliefs, or even the way you view yourself. But the message I'm picking up strongly seems to relate to someone who has been stuck in the same job or company for quite a while, more than 6 years to be exact. If this resonates with you, you've probably had moments where you've thought about leaving your job, but something is holding you back. Maybe you've seen signs, small nudges from the universe that it's time to move on, but you haven't been able to take that step. I get it. Leaving a job is a big decision, especially when you're not sure what's waiting for you on the other side. The fear of the unknown can be overwhelming. You might be worried about how you're going to pay your bills, whether you'll find something better or if you'll get a good salary in a new position. These are real concerns, and I'm not dismissing them. But at the same time, you might feel like you've been putting in so much effort at your current job and only getting the bare minimum in return. Think about it. Have you been feeling like your hard work isn't being recognized? Like no matter how much you do, it's never enough and you're not getting what you truly deserve. You know deep down that you're worth more than what you're receiving, but the fear of uncertainty is keeping you in place. It's like you're stuck in a cycle where you keep giving, but you're not getting back what you've earned. If this sounds like you, then this message is for you. The message I'm receiving for you is clear. It's time to trust and have faith. Holding on to something out of fear means you're blocking yourself from receiving the blessings that God and the universe already have lined up for you. Spiritually speaking, you've already been moved to a new place, a new job, or a new opportunity, but because you're still holding on to your old job, you're not seeing the change yet. It's like the door to your next opportunity is already open, but you haven't walked through it because you're too focused on the door that's closing behind you. I know it's scary. The thought of stepping out into the unknown is never easy, especially when you have bills to pay and responsibilities to handle. But sometimes holding on to what's familiar can do more harm than good. You've outgrown this job, this role, or this company, and staying there is only keeping you from growing into the person you're meant to become. You deserve more, and the only way to get it is to let go of the fear that's holding you back. I also want to emphasize that this message isn't just about jobs or careers. This could apply to relationships, habits, or any situation where you've been feeling stuck. Maybe you're in a relationship that isn't serving you, or you've been holding on to a certain way of thinking that's no longer helpful. Whatever it is, the core of the message remains the same. It's time to release what no longer serves you and trust that what's coming is better than what you're leaving behind. Let's talk a little more about fear because that's a huge part of what's keeping you stuck. Fear is powerful and it can stop us from making decisions that we know are right for us. It's natural to feel scared when you're about to make a big change. We all worry about making the wrong decision, about failing, or about the unknown future. But think about this for a second. What if you're not stepping into failure, but into something amazing? What if the fear is just a barrier between you and your breakthrough? The message I'm getting is that God has already set something up for you. There's a new job, a new opportunity, or even a new chapter of your life that's waiting for you, but it requires you to trust and take that first step. When you let go of what's holding you back, you open yourself up to receive all the blessings that have been prepared for you. And remember, spiritually, you've already moved forward. Your soul has already made the shift. It's just your mind and body that need to catch up. To the person working hard and not getting what they deserve, I see you. I know how frustrating it is to put in all that effort and feel like you're getting nowhere. But this is your reminder that things are about to change. A new job or opportunity is waiting for you, one where you'll be valued and appreciated for all the hard work you do. It's time to let go of what's no longer serving you and trust that the universe has something better in store for you. This transition won't be easy, but it will be worth it. You're not alone in this. God and the universe are guiding you every step of the way. When you take that leap of faith, you see that you're supported in ways you never imagined. So don't be afraid to step into the unknown. Trust that what's coming is better than what you're leaving behind. You've put in the work, and now it's time to get what you truly deserve. Stay strong, and remember your best days are ahead of you, not behind you. It's time to move forward with faith and confidence, knowing that you're stepping into a brighter future. Letting go is one of the hardest things we often have to face, especially when we've invested a lot of time, energy, and love into something or someone. It's natural to want to hold on, hoping things will eventually get better. But sometimes God is trying to move us forward to something new and we keep clinging to the past. We might be putting in a lot of effort yet not seeing any return on it, whether it's in a relationship, job, or another situation. If you're giving your all but not receiving the same in return, it's a strong sign that it's time to move on. God has already opened a new chapter for you, but sometimes we are too afraid or too attached to what we know to move forward. Think about it. How often do we get stuck in a routine or pattern that no longer serves us just because it's familiar? We tell ourselves that things will change, but deep down we know they won't. If you've been in a relationship for over 6 years and the other person keeps promising to marry you, but never takes any real steps toward it, then it's time to consider letting go. Promises without action only lead to disappointment and frustration. God has someone else prepared for you, someone who is ready and willing to take the steps that your heart truly desires. But if you keep holding on to what isn't working, you might miss out on the better things He has in store for you. Sometimes we are the ones standing in our own ways, easy to blame others for our struggles and challenges, but we often need to look inward and reflect on how we might be contributing to our own unhappiness. Are you holding on to someone or something that no longer adds value to your life? Are you afraid to let go because you fear the unknown? These are tough questions, but they are necessary if you want to move forward. Fear of the unknown is one of the main reasons people stay stuck in situations that are no longer good for them. We are creatures of habit, and the idea of stepping into something new can be scary. But just because something is unknown doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, the unknown often holds great opportunities and blessings that we can't even imagine. If you never take that step forward, how will you ever know what God has in store for you? Think about the story of Abraham and Isaac in the Bible. God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac, who was incredibly precious to him. Imagine being in Abraham's shoes, being asked to give up something that means the world to you. It could be like being asked to leave a job you've had for years or ending a relationship you've invested so much in. Abraham trusted God fully, believing that even if he had to give up what he loved, God would provide something even greater in return. And God did. He stopped Abraham from sacrificing Isaac and provided a ram instead. In this season of your life, God might be asking you to have that same kind of faith. Maybe you're holding on to a job that no longer brings you joy or growth. Perhaps you're stuck in a relationship where you're always giving but not receiving the same love and effort back. Or maybe you're holding on to a mindset like feeling you're not good enough or believing you don't belong somewhere. Whatever it is, you've been carrying it with you for far too long and it's weighing you down. It's time to let it go because holding on to it is preventing you from receiving the new blessings that God has prepared for you. Letting go doesn't mean giving up, it means making space for something better. Sometimes God can't give us what we're meant to have because our hands are too full with things we shouldn't be holding on to. It's like trying to carry too many bags at once. You can't pick up anything new until you set some of the old stuff down. If you're not willing to let go of what's holding you back, you can't receive what's meant for you. It's a simple truth you need to let go to make room for something better. Some of you are staying in jobs or positions that you think are the best you can get, but God has more in store for you. You are meant to step into leadership, to take on bigger roles, or even to start your own business. But because you're comfortable where you're settling. Settling means staying in a place that's less than what you're capable of. This season in your life is about faith, trusting God like Abraham did, even when you don't know what's coming next. Many of us fear change, but change is often what brings growth. Without it, we stay the same and life becomes stagnant. When you stay in a situation that's no longer serving you, you're only hurting yourself. It's like trying to water a dead plant. No matter how much effort you put in, it won't come back to life. If you're pouring all your energy into something that isn't growing, then it's time to shift your focus. Sometimes letting go is a form of self love. By releasing what no longer serves you, you're opening the door for better things to enter your life. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Think of it this way: if you keep holding on to a relationship where you're not truly valued, you're preventing yourself from finding someone who will value you. If you stay in a job where you're not appreciated, you're stopping yourself from finding work that makes you feel fulfilled. Life is a journey of growth and evolution. As you grow, the things, people, and situations that once fit into your life might no longer align with where you're headed. That's okay. It's natural to outgrow things, and it's a sign that you're moving forward. Don't let fear keep you tied to the past. Trust that God has something better for you. When you let go of what's not working, you're making space for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that will bring you joy and fulfillment. Trust that God knows what's best for you, even if you don't understand it right now. Just like Abraham, you're being asked to trust, even if it feels like you're giving up something precious. God's plan is always greater than anything you can imagine. So take a moment to reflect on what you might be holding on to. Is it a relationship, a job, or a belief that's no longer serving you? Are you afraid to let go because you don't know what's next? It's time to release that fear and trust in God's plan. Something better is waiting for you, but you have to make room for it. Let go of the past, step into your future, and trust that God is guiding you towards something amazing. I may not know exactly what you're going through right now or what the future holds for you, but I do have a message for you. It's a message that speaks to something many of us go through at different points in our lives, holding on to things that no longer serve us because we're afraid to let go. Sometimes the fear of the unknown makes us cling to what's familiar, even if it's no longer good for us. But in doing that, we stop the flow of blessings that God has in store for us. Think about the things you're holding on to right now. Maybe it's a job that you've outgrown, but you stay because it feels safe or because you're worried about what will happen if you leave. Maybe it's a relationship that no longer brings you joy or growth, but you're afraid to let go because of the history you have or the fear of being alone. Or maybe it's a mindset or habit that keeps you stuck, but you don't know how to move forward. Whatever it is, deep down, you might feel that is no longer right for you, but letting go seems too hard. Sometimes we can't see what God sees. He has a bigger plan for our lives, but when we cling to things that are no longer meant for us, we block the good things He has waiting. Imagine standing at a door that's closed with your hands on the handle, trying to pull it open. You keep pulling and pulling, but it doesn't budge. You're focused so much on that door that you don't even realize there's another door opening right next to you. That's how life can be. We hold on to things hoping they'll change or get better, but all the while, God is preparing something new for us. If you're feeling stuck in a job, relationship, or situation that no longer helps you grow, this is a sign that it might be time to let go. It's okay to move on from something that doesn't bring you happiness or fulfillment. You don't have to feel guilty about it. Sometimes God removes certain things from our lives to make space for better things to come. Let's talk about relationships for a moment. Maybe you've been holding on to someone who no longer brings out the best in you. Maybe you've been staying in a relationship out of fear of being alone, fear of what people might say, or fear of starting over. But ask yourself, is this relationship helping you become the person God wants you to be? Are you growing, feeling loved and supported? Or are you constantly giving more than you're getting, feeling unappreciated or even unhappy? If the answer is the latter, then it's time to think about what's truly best for you. Sometimes we stay in situations because we hope things will change, but deep down we know they won't. It's important to remember that you deserve to be loved and appreciated for who you are, not for who someone else wants you to be. You deserve to be in a relationship where you feel valued, supported, and cared for. If that's not what you have right now, then maybe God is asking you to let go and trust Him to bring the right person into your life. The same goes for jobs. Maybe you've been at the same job for years, but it no longer makes you happy or challenges you. Maybe you stay because you're comfortable or you're afraid to step out into something new. But think about this: God didn't create you to settle for less than what you're capable of. He wants you to grow, to be fulfilled, and to use your gifts and talents in ways that glorify Him. If your job is no longer helping you do that, then maybe it's time to consider a change. I know change is scary. The unknown is always a little frightening because we don't have control over what's coming next. But that's where faith comes in. God is asking you to trust Him, to believe that He has a plan for your life that's better than anything you could imagine. When you let go of what's no longer working, you make room for God to bring new opportunities, new relationships, and new blessings into your life. It's like holding onto something so tightly that your hands are full. If you don't open your hands and let go, how can you receive what's coming? Sometimes God is just waiting for us to take that step of faith, to release what's not meant for us anymore so He can give us something better. You might be thinking, but I've been dealing with this for so long. I've been feeling this way for years. Maybe you felt the nudge to move on, to make a change, but fear has held you back. You've seen the signs. Maybe things aren't going well at work, or your relationship feels more like a burden than a blessing, but you haven't taken that leap yet. I understand, and God understands too. He's patient with us, but He also wants us to trust Him. He's been showing you the signs for a reason, and it's time to listen. Whatever it is that's holding you back, whether it's a job, a relationship, or even a mindset, trust that God has something better in store for you. You are worthy of more than just settling. You are worthy of being in a place where you are appreciated, loved, and supported. Don't be afraid to walk away from what no longer serves you. God has already prepared a path for you, one that will bring you joy, growth, and blessings. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to pray. Ask God for the strength to let go of what's holding you back. Ask Him for guidance, for clarity, and for the courage to step into the new things He has planned for you. God's plan is always good and He wants to bless you with things beyond your imagination. But first, you have to trust Him enough to let go of the old so He can give you the new. Remember, you deserve better. You deserve a life filled with peace, joy, and love. Whether it's a better job, a healthier relationship, or a new opportunity, God has it ready for you. You just need to take that first step of faith and let go of what's no longer meant for you. I hope this message brings you peace and clarity. Stay strong, trust God's plan, and know that better things are on the way. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are blessed. Stay blessed. Blessed.